case studies is the next issue that we need to have a look at for the HSC Geography course. You need to have case studies for each of your topics. And you need to be aware of what the syllabus prescribes in terms of the required case studies for each topic. If we start with topic 1, ecosystems at risk, the syllabus says you need case studies of 2 different ecosystems at risk. And those options that you can choose from for ecosystems at risk are prescribed in the syllabus in the topic 1 section, ecosystems at risk. So you need to make sure you've got 2 ecosystems to use. In the urban places topic, there is always confusion over what a large city is and whether you need to study a megacity or a world city. The syllabus says you need to have a case study of a large city from the developed world and the local area to investigate your urban dynamics. Within the syllabus then says that you need to have a case study of urban dynamics operating in a large city, and then a case study of one of the urban dynamics operating in a country town or a suburb. So my suggestion to you would be that you choose a large city to use as your case study for urban dynamics occurring in that large city, and then you choose one of the urban dynamics that are occurring within that large city to focus on as your case study. The definition of a megacity and the definition of a world city are in the back at the back of the syllabus in the glossary. It is worthwhile going to the last page of the syllabus and having a look at that glossary document and making sure you have a really clear understanding of what a megacity is and what a world city is as prescribed by the Board of Studies. Finally, topic 3, people and economic activity. You need to have case studies of an economic activity on a global scale and an economic enterprise at a local scale. This is where a lot of students get confused in terms of their extended responses in this section. The case study of an economic activity on a global scale is the broader economic activity. For example, viticulture on a global scale. The economic enterprise at the local scale is the particular business that you are studying for that topic. So in other words, you might be studying a winery in the Hunter Valley. For example, Tamburlaine Winery is one that's used widely across the state. That's your economic enterprise. Your economic activity is viticulture. You need to understand the difference between those. And then finally, the best tip with your case studies is go back and have a look at the outcomes at the start of each topic in the Board of Studies syllabus document and ensure that you can relate those outcomes to your case studies. So in other words, the outcomes give you a really good guide on the types of information you need to know for the case study and how you can use that information to answer questions in the HSC. My final tip for a general hint working through the HSC year is you need to keep up to date with contemporary issues that are occurring in the media. Any good geographer will keep a close eye on the news throughout the HSC course. And my suggestion to you would be that as you move into the HSC trial and the HSC exam, you need to have at least 2 recent articles for each topic, which gives you a resource for some examples that you can use in your written responses. The Sydney Morning Herald and the Guardian Weekly websites are really good resources, particularly the Sydney Morning Herald Environment section, for up-to-date contemporary issues occurring in your topics. I like to get my students to use a website to curate those articles. And one really good website is called Scoop It, which is a website where you can cut and paste the URL of the article onto the website, and it creates a little, it's like a little online scrapbook for your articles, and it provides a little window down the bottom of the article that you can make some annotations. So in other words, you can relate it to the part of the syllabus that issue relates to. You need to be able to use examples to demonstrate the concepts that you've learnt in class in your written responses. Keeping an eye on those recent articles helps you create a bank of examples that you can use in your written responses. Approaching the HSC exam. Let's have a look at how we're going to approach the actual HSC exam, the 3 hours and the 5 minutes, and what we can do in the lead up to the HSC exam, but also when we actually get into that examination hall or the room and sit down, how are we going to organise ourselves to give us the best chance to score the best possible marks. My suggestion to you in the 5 minutes reading time would be that you go to the back of the exam and read the extended response questions first, because this is one of your biggest choices in the exam. You have to choose which 2 responses you are going to write out of the 3 options that you're given. So Again, you're given one extended response question for each of the 3 topics, and you've got to write 2 of those. Once writing commences, my suggestion would be that the first thing you would write down is your timing. And you write down the particular time that the exam starts and when you should finish each section. On the front page of the HSC exam, there will be suggested times that you allocate to each section of the exam. For example, section 1, the multiple choice, 20 marks, 20 questions. The suggested timing is 35 minutes. So I would be writing down on the front page of my exam, start, for example, 9:05, finish section 1, 9:40. You then keep an eye on the clock as you move through so that you're keeping enough time up your sleeve to write the extended response questions at the end. My other suggestion would be that you do start with the multiple choice, and the reason why I suggest that is because the multiple choice refers to the stimulus booklet and refers to all the different parts of the stimulus booklet. So therefore, by the time that you've finished your multiple choice, you've got a good idea of the content of the stimulus booklet, which could then help you through the exam to relate back to some examples or some stimulus. You can still use the stimulus booklet through the short answer and through the extended responses to either jog your memory on certain issues or use it as a reference to use as examples. When you get into section 2, in the short answers, 40 marks, you're allowing about 1 hour and 10 minutes for this section. Watch your timing here. This is where a lot of students take too much time and eat away at their time for their extended responses. The best indication of time in the short answer section is the amount of lines that you were given. Fill up the amount of lines, but try not to go over the amount of lines, because what the amount of lines really are prescribing to you or suggesting to you is this is how much you need to write to answer this question to get the full allocated amount of marks. So be careful not writing too much over the lines in the short answer section. And then once you get to section 3, 40 marks, you've got 2 extended responses. You've got 1 hour and 15 minutes for this section. My suggestion would be that you allocate 35 minutes for each extended response, which gives you a total of 70 minutes, which leaves 5 minutes at the start to do some planning in terms of the content of your extended responses.